Hey, today we're going to go to Cape May, New Jersey. It's one of the most fabulous places on the entire East Coast. It's one of the classic summer towns on the entire East Coast. You're going to love this place. And of course, Cape May Winery is making absolutely super wines. You're going to meet some great folks. I can remember Cape May all the way back. I don't want to say how old I am, but I remember when they were a unicorn wine. You could only have their not blush, but their rosé if you went to a couple of different restaurants. They didn't have a real tasting room. It was run out of a garage, and it's not that way anymore. Wait till you see it. Toby and Betsey, who are the owners, have done just a tremendous job making Cape May one of the major wineries in the state. You're going to have a lot of fun on this one. They make terrific wines. This is a great adventure. Come on, let's go. Today, we're in New Jersey, and we're traveling as far south as you can go to Cape May, New Jersey. The Cape May Historic District is America's first seaside resort and has numerous buildings in the late Victorian style. According to the National Park Service architecture historian Carolyn Pitts, Cape May has one of the largest collections of late 19th century frame buildings left in the United States. We're going to the Cape May Winery and Vineyard. The winery was started in 1989, and the first bottling was released in 1996. In 2003, the Craig family bought the winery. Toby Craig and his daughter, Betsey Sole, have worked to remake the winery since then. They have built a tasting room and hospitality center. They have built all new winery production facility and expanded the outdoor seating deck and gardens. There were a number of East Coast wine writers at the event. The year Toby purchased the winery, production was just over 1,000 gallons of wine. In 2014, the winery produced 40,000 gallons of wine, which equals more than 16,000 cases. Today, they are the fifth largest producing winery in New Jersey. The Cape May Winery is 100% retail. Cape May grows grapes in 150 acres around the immediate region. They harvest 26 of those acres across 4 vineyards that grow 12 grape varieties. They grow Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Riesling, Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, Chambourcin, Pinot Noir, Vidal Blanc, and Cayuga. Mike Mitchell is the head winemaker, and Jackson Sole is the assistant winemaker, and they make a great team. Head winemaker Mike Mitchell was the assistant here for 11 years before taking over in 2019. Mike's goal is to implement new technology to improve the quality of the wines. Mike has a degree from Stockton University. Jackson Sole has worked a number of summers at Cape May Winery, and he graduated from Virginia Tech with a BS in agribusiness, specializing in viticulture. Jackson spent the 2019 vintage working for Villa Maria Winery in Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. He became the assistant winemaker in 2019. One of the new techniques that Mike is implementing here at Cape May is, instead of punching down or pumping over to break up the cap during fermentation, they're actually bubbling air up through the tank, offering oxygen to the yeast and breaking up the cap. It's really fascinating.
That's the fun part.
That is fascinating.
Next came the tasting. Mike and Jackson led us through it. Each of the writers was separated or socially distanced from one another by having our own tasting tables. It was a great, safe way to do a tasting in a large group. Cape May Chardonnay Reserve. This has got a lovely nose of fresh apples and pears with some lovely tropical notes. Pears and apples come through on the palate with hints of mango. Shortbread and vanilla are in the middle with a lovely tropical bright citric acidity at the end. Juicy, smooth, fruity, but with complexity. Lovely, very pretty Chardonnay, one of my favorites of the tasting. Cape May Cabernet Franc. The fruit was harvested mid-October. 100% of these grapes come from the outer coastal plain AVA. It's aged 2 years in neutral French oak. Lovely medium-bodied red, classic cherries, and fresh dark raspberries, along with plum lead on the nose. They come through on the palate as well. This is a lovely fruit-forward Cab Franc, just beautiful dry red wine, nice balance, good tannins with a nice hint of spice and black pepper on the end, and the cherry just lingers and lingers. The Cape May Pinot Noir. I'm always a sucker for Pinot Noir, and this one did not disappoint. The garnet-colored wine started off with dried cranberries and cherry preserves on the nose, with hints of cola, spices, violets, and a hint of earthiness. The cranberries and cherries came through on the palate with a hint of plum and some lovely earthiness again. There's a touch of spice and some soft tannins, and the cherry just lingers and lingers. A very lovely Pinot Noir, certainly another one of my favorites of this tasting. Cape May's Isaac Smith Red Port. I love port, and one of my favorite ports on the East Coast is Cape May's Isaac Smith Red Port. It's made from 100% estate-grown Chambourcin grapes. I think that Chambourcin is uniquely perfect for port with its deep color, its big flavors, and its wonderful acidity. It stands up to the sugar and it stands up to the fortification. This current bottling of port is a blend of 4 different vintages of Isaac Smith port. This port is made up of 20% of 2011, 20% 2013, 20% 2014, and 40% 2016. On the nose, there are aromas of fig and dark plums. Both absolutely follow through on the palate with hints of cherry, cola, dates, and dark cassis. A tremendous port, something to be savored. Well, I hope that was fun for you. It's a great place. You got to go down to Cape May. If you haven't been, you're going to spend a weekend there. It's just absolutely incredible. But the wines at Cape May Winery are just tremendous. I want to thank Toby Craig and Betsey Sole-Simpson for being so kind and hosting us. And huge thumbs up to Mike Mitchell and Jackson Sole for doing the tasting and making great wines. Really loved their stuff. You got to get down to Cape May and try the stuff out. It's absolutely tremendous. Okay, well, that's it for today. I hope we'll see you next time.
Well, that's it for this edition of the Great American Winery Stroopwaffle. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll come back soon. And in the meantime, drink local.